Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a AWA 586MA, and this was made from 3 dead chassis, 2 fronts and 1 back case. I had the front and a dead chassis, and then with the Castlemaine haul, as it were, I picked up 2 more 586 chassis and a back case. So this is a bit of a mix and match video. The transformer didn't work on one of them, the output transformer didn't work on another one of them, the speaker was stuffed on a third one, and so it goes. So what I've done is I've picked probably the better of the 3 chassis and made 1 radio out of the 3 chassis, 2 fronts and a partridge in a pear tree. Now the 586 was the forerunner to the B15 and the circuit is almost identical. However, the chassis I picked had a piece or resistor missing and made it extremely dangerous, and I will show you that in the video. Even though the 3 switches were turned off and the variac was turned off, it just went straight through the whole system. I don't know how, but it did. So I managed to give myself a couple of jolts off of it until I worked out what was wrong with it. So it made a bit of an idiot out of me, and it almost made me a dead person. The final thing I want to talk about is a new shortwave station which seems to be broadcasting out of central Victoria, not very far from here. They have a Facebook page which is practically useless, and their old website tells you to go to the Facebook page, so it's a bit of a circular route. But on Saturday night I managed to listen to a 1-hour take of Peter Evans, who was a very, very famous breakfast announcer in Melbourne, and then eventually went nationwide. He was, well, yes, he was pretty curmudgeonly and very, very grumpy. He just spoke whatever was on his mind. I don't know how he lasted for so long. He died probably 25 years ago at least now. But I remember him when I was growing up, and most people I've spoken to remember him too, because he was so popular. Anyway, on with the video, and I'll leave the link and the frequencies to Shortwave Australia down below. So enjoy the video, and I'll speak to you very shortly. So the first thing to do is to choose which of the 3 chassis I'm going to use. Probably not this one. Probably not this one. The Arts and P sticker is a bit better on this one. Yes, probably this one. Oh, well, this one's corroded, isn't it? Very hard decision. But I can always reproduce the Arts and P sticker. So I'll have 2 serial numbers, so they'll be okay. So we'll probably use the middle one. We'll first clean these valves up too a bit. So first thing to do then is to pull the front plate off of this, because this is better than the one that I had. The problem with some of these old radios is the slots aren't very wide. Some modern screwdrivers just don't fit in. This one does. And that's an original one. So, okay. Right, let's get rid of this. Ugh. Okay. Well, we have a useful sticker on there, so I won't throw this away just yet. I wonder what that was off. Oh well. This is only part of the radio. Now, there's the front plate come off. Is that? Oh yeah. So we'll just take this off. Okay, that will need to be put in something to clean it off. This volume on off switch looks pretty good. This has been fixed at some stage. It just bit me. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 caps have been replaced. Don't know why they didn't replace these two. While they're at it. Or the filter caps. Seems pretty silly to me. But who's to question? Okay, that must be the tone control. Complete with greasy rubbish on it. Okay. So let's have a look at the one I'm going to use. Though this one seems pretty good. Might stick with this one actually. This was the one I was going to use. Much for muchness. Might go with this one actually. Looking at them. Yep. We'll go with this one. Has this been molested in any way? No. This 24 has been pulled off. There is some shielding tape around the volume and power switch. Okay, we might go with this. Excuse me. We might go with this one. And this one is a high serial number too. Not that it makes much difference after 60 years. First thing first, of course, is to test the transformer after. I'm getting a little bit more clever when they did these, but this is basically the same as the B15s, which ran to 1972. What that is that burnt? Yep. I don't know how the hell that got burnt. So we'll take our inevitable spider away. That's the earthen aerial. So this will need a couple of supports. So we can grab off the B15s or something like that. Let's do our tests on things. Okay. This one looks a bit better. Has all the wires connected to it. So I might end up using this one. Okay, I'm back and connected up with these. These are pretty secure. And we have voltage. Have 6.3 is working. B plus is working. Let's bring it up very slowly. It's on about 40 volts or something. Interesting to see if this works or not. Right, here we go. G, that is shorted. 50 volts. 60 volts. 80 volts. 100 volts. 120. 140. 160. 180. 90. 200. Again, now. 220. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try another chassis. This one seems to be complete. That fell out of the last one. Don't know whether it was connected or not, but the speaker and the cap off of the negative was missing, which is why there was no sound coming out of it. So we'll try this one. And the valves are beginning to glow. Oh, okay. That is pretty tight. Okay, we'll go up a bit more. To 20. Wouldn't you know it? There is nothing connected to the speaker here. So let's trace that back. Rightio. So we have, okay, so it comes in, the coil comes, so that's a green wire, okay. which is the white one. So it's not sure what BU is. BR must be brown. Okay. So there's the output train. So this is the output transformer. And we're looking for a loose green wire. There's one. Is it going to anything? It looks like it's going somewhere proper. So this one, output transformer is here. That is orange. And it goes nowhere. What is connected to the orange? So that goes to there, and this one. So this one goes nowhere. It's got some more plastic bag on it. That is red, and that goes up to that capacitor. This goes down here and into this valve, which is 6 AV, so that'll be the output. These old plastic bags which are disintegrating. So we know this one sort of works, and what I'm going to do is put the valves back in the other chassis, and I'll try getting a capacitor and wiring up the speaker. Okay, so we know the transformer works on this one, and we don't know that it works on this one. So what I'm going to do is swap the transformer out of this one into this chassis, because this is a slightly better chassis, and I'll work my way through all the capacitors. This looks like it's had a, where's my pointer gone? This looks like it's had a new resistor there, and a new cap here at some stage, and a new cap over there at some stage as well. Although, no, that'll be in the 60s. So these were built in the late 50s. So these wires are all hanging off and everything like that. So I may as well just go ahead and change the transformer over and be done with it. Okay, so I'll be back in a little while once I've changed the transformer and this cap, found whatever else is hanging off it. As the saying goes, this isn't a soldering iron, this is a soldering iron. And you can see the difference in size. So I've actually found it. I know other technicians have these. This is for the chassis work. So last night I found that soldering iron, and this morning, even though it was freezing cold, I took the output transformer from the old chassis, and here it is here. I'll zoom down a bit for you. That's better. So this now has an output transformer in it. Now, to work out where the wires go, and that should be relatively straightforward. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay, the moment of truth. Will the magic smoke come out? So I'll bring it up very slowly. So 40 volts. I'll just see if this is turned on. Yep. Not expecting this speaker to do anything good. 60 volts. 80. 120. 140. 160. 180. So what I'm going to do is check some voltages. Make sure we've actually got something coming in. No. Don't tell me this was the one with the broken switch. Aha. Would help if I turn the variac on. Okay, let's try again. So 20 volts. In fact, what I'm going to do is put the multimeter onto it. Okay, let's try again. So put it back down to 0. Now, let's have a look at the voltage. Okay, there we go. Very strange voltage readings because I'm up around about 140 on the variac. Oh, it's on DC. How did it get into DC? That's better. Let's continue up. No smoke so far. So I'm going to move the... Okay, so that is 3 volts. Okay, so that is rising. We'll go on to the other output. So I'm connected to the high voltage output on the transformer there and the earth on there. Okay. Okay, that's looking promising. 60 volts on the variac and 60 volts on the meter. 120 on the variac. We have a dial light. Our dim bulb is not even getting warm, which is a good sign. So I'm up at 240 on the variac and we're getting 245 on the transformer. That's good. What time is that?
I'll have some lunch, change the speaker, and I'll be back. So they do provide a picture of the underside and the top side. This will scroll smoothly. There we go. But the underside is pretty muddy, so I can't really work out what is what under there. So let's have a look. And okay. So let's give references. Circuit code. Oh, okay. Here we go. Do we have the valve layout anywhere? New capacitor. Oh, here we go. Valves. Right. 6BE, 6F10. Okay, so F10 is F10. Oh, okay. Yep. So we'll put the 6BE6 back in. Right. So all the valves are back in again. And we'll try firing it up. It's still the old speaker. I've got a little bit of warmth in the gimbal, but it's not glowing. Okay. Let's try the speaker. I'll be back once I've changed the speaker. Straight in the bin with that one. And now this will be a bit tricky. Yep. This one in first because it's more accessible. Now, will it work? This little component down here looks particularly dodgy on this set. I'm not quite sure what it is, whether it's some sort of capacitor or resistor or even a inductor. So it's pretty discoloured. It seems to be a purpley colour up this end, and the rest of it has been burnt down at this end, and I'm not sure that I can read. Actually, I can read it better without the magnifying glass. 10 picofarads. So it is a capacitor. Yeah, 10 pico at 5%. So that would be all right. Oh, actually, there's another one up here too, which is badly discoloured. And that one is 22 picofarads. So we'll check, make sure that one's working. Ah, is this one open? -1. Okay. Well, something's draining it off. Right. So that seems to be working. So let's get in here and change these capacitors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Okay, so I'll be here for a little while these get changed, and so I'll be back. Right, we're back. Now, the problem I had with it was all live, and I finally worked out what the problem was, and it was this this resistor down here, and it was missing on this chassis. It didn't look like it had ever been put in there, although it must have been in there at some stage, but these are so filthy dirty, these chassis. So I put the chassis in, and of course, bang, it worked. So what I've done is I've done a quick alignment on it. It's not the greatest of radios. What I'll do is I'll just turn the chassis over and show you the resistor. Now it's actually down there, and it was completely missing. Now I have to remove this clip and put the other, and get one of these off of one of the other chassis, and pop that in there. I've got the cabinet soaking overnight, and the other thing we need to do is glue this speaker up, because the surround is unglued on this one. But this is off one of the other radios, and it's just sort of disintegrating. So yes, okay, straight in the bin with that one. And I've just noticed there's a bit of a hole up there which is easy to fix, and it's a little bit, it's come away down there. Again, that's easy to fix. Yeah, given these were unprotected for however many years, this one is in surprisingly good condition, although thought it was scraping. Right, well, we'll get on with that then. I've sprayed out the volume pot. I haven't done the tone control. At least the radio is now safe. So I was getting current through it even with the three switches switched off. So that was a bit of a worry. Right, we'll be back. And here we have the speaker all done. So I've put AWA here around here where it was coming apart. Not quite sure what these bits that fit on the front of these speakers, or the I guess they're cushions or something like that. Anyway, that was all coming apart. It was quite weak around the edges of the speaker. So what I've done is I've put the electrical tape, the brush on stuff, around here, and that's quite rubbery, so that will strengthen around here, and we'll just wait for this to dry. Meanwhile, I'll go and scrub the cabinet and make a few repairs to it, and we'll see how it goes. It's not a particularly nice cabinet. It's got a couple of very big cracks in the top of it, and it's also got a ring mark where someone's put a something very hot on the top of it and left a ring. So we'll see what we can do with that. I've just spent an hour, or almost an hour, looking for the base of this, which snapped off when I was taking it out one of the other chassis. This was the last remaining upright for these radios out of the 3 chassis. There is another one in the radio, which is okay. So what happens is they stick these on in the factory like so, and they're impossible to pull up, well, up that way actually. So they go in like that, and there's little, can you see that? In this, where are we? There we go. If you can see, there's little sharp pieces on all of the points, and so there's 4 points like that, and they dig into the plastic, and of course this plastic is very brittle after 60 odd years, yeah, getting on to 65 years now, and of course it just snapped off and went flying. Of course, I found the clip, but I can't find the rest of the clear plastic, so I don't know where it is. Anyway, back to the cabinet. So we have this major crack here, and you can probably see maybe, yep. So these hairline cracks here, and there's another one over here, which you probably can't see, and of course this piece is broken here, as well as this corner here, which I'm not too worried about. The actual face plate has cleaned up reasonably well. This is off one of the other radios. Don't know where this came from. It's got some damage up the top here, which you can't see, but there is brown marks there. So this is pretty much original colour, and obviously it's polishing up a bit. It's good inside. So these came in 3 different colour schemes: a yellow body, a black body, the white surround, a black surround, and I think a pink pink front grille with black case, which I've seen a couple of them, but not all that many. So what I'm going to do is glue this back together with this super glue gel. Now the gel doesn't set all that quickly, and it's not sort of instant like the other stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to put this back together again. And the idea is then to paint it eventually. Yep. So just hold it for 30 seconds or so, and that's it. Pretty much. So what I'll do is just clean off the excess, put that back in the fridge so it doesn't go off. Try not to get it on my fingers and stick my fingers together. Yep. Of course, it's got the obligatory paint spots on it, and I don't know what, probably can't see that if I just manipulate. Yeah, the reflection. You can see where that hot spot is there. There's a ring. Looks like a hot cup or something was put on it. So it's definitely a cup shape and size. So someone must have had a very hot cup of tea or something. Now I just want to adjust one more coil. Now that coil is just fine. So this radio doesn't perform all that great, but I guess it was designed for suburban use. And it does pick up Melbourne stations, and it picks up the racing station here reasonably well, but as I'll demonstrate once I put the cabinet back together again, you'll see that it doesn't sound all that fantastic. So as you can see, I think this sort of goes there, and there was a couple of clips, one there and probably one there, which would have attached to here and probably here. They've obviously been broken off. Well, the radio is finally finished after quite a few frustrations, let's put it that way. So the final frustration was when I screwed the back on the case, and I pushed off one of the wires off the transformer, didn't I? Ripped it off. So that was a bit of a boo-boo, but it is now working actually very, very well. I'm quite surprised once I've got it back into the case and it's all isolated. It is actually working very, very well. So this is Melbourne.
Thanks very much for having me. Let's start with the issue of underquoting. What does it mean?
Now there is a bit of electrical noise around here in this room.
Seconds, what did you want to say on this?
No, I'm looking forward to the 7:30 report. The Four Corners report tonight. I am an ex-agent, and I gave many years of service to the industry, and I quit for basically the reasons that were highlighted in your segment then. And I think it's a travesty, and I'm really upset with the way the industry has become, and it's very dishonest.
So you saw it all, Jim?
Someone's discussing it. Yeah, I certainly did. Yep, I was very disheartened towards the end of my career with some of the tactics used to get listings, especially in our office in our local area, it was very competitive, and then to certainly beat down the vendors on price to get it to where the market actually saw it. So it does happen.
Jim, thank you for your call. I've got to go to the news. Great to talk to you. After the news, keep talking to us about what you think about the stalemate of the Liberal Party, as announced today. News time now. ABC News, good afternoon. I'm Joseph Dunstan.
So, to sum up, it needs a bit of a coat of paint on the actual main case. This part here needs to be cleaned up a bit. It's very rough. The highlights need to be polished up, obviously, and the grille probably needs to be repainted by the looks of it from this angle. Yes, and then I need to do proper knobs for it, because this knob is obviously quite broken and doesn't actually work. And it also needs a new clear dial there, which will be a little bit of a challenge. But it's basically all finished. There is a couple of noisy mica caps in there which are beginning to fail. If you watch Mr. Carlson's lab, you'll see that a few of the mica caps in a communications receiver he's doing at the moment have also failed. So that wraps this one up, and thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you later in the week or next week. Bye.